I wanted you to think about the last time someone asked you how you were actually doing. Not the casual version, not the hey, how are you? In passing, and the answer is fine, and you both move on. I mean the real version, where someone sat down, looked you in the eye, and actually wanted to know, where there was space for you to say, honestly, not great, I'm struggling. I'm tired in a way that I can't explain. I don't know how much longer I can keep carrying the weight. When was the last time that happened? Follow, subscribe. I talk about stuff like this each week. For most men watching this, the answer is uncomfortable because either it's been so long you can't remember or it's never happened at all. And here's what I want to talk about today. Not just why that is, but what it's actually doing to you. And what it's actually doing to the people around you and love you, and have no idea how close to empty you actually are. I have always been the strong one. In my family growing up, my friendships, in my marriage, I'm the one who handles things. I'm the one who figures it out. I'm the one who stays calm when things go sideways. And for a long time, I wore that like a badge. Being the strong one felt like an identity. It felt like purpose. It felt like value. As long as I was handling everything, I knew what my role was, and I was good at it. What I didn't see, and this took me a long time to admit, was what that identity was actually costing me. Because when you're always the strong one, something happens over time. People stop asking, not because they don't care, but because you've trained them not to. Every time someone asks if you're okay, and you said fine, every time you had an opportunity to say, I'm struggling, and you said, I've got it handled. Every time you pushed through something alone that you could have shared, you sent a message. You said, I don't need that. I don't do that. That's not me. That's not who I am. And people believed you. And then one day, you look around and realize that you are completely alone inside your own life, surrounded by people who love you and completely unreachable. And the loneliness of that, the specific loneliness of being unseen by the people who are closest to you, is unlike anything else I have ever experienced or felt. I remember sitting at home one night in my car after a particularly brutal day. Everything had gone wrong at once. Work was a mess. There was tension at home. And I was running on no sleep, and I had been white knuckling it for weeks. And I sat there in my car, and I thought, there is not one single person that I can call right now. Not one person that I can tell the real version of this to. And the most painful part was that it wasn't their fault. It was mine. I had built walls so high, so strong that nobody could figure out how to get in anymore. And I had done it one fine at a time. One I've got it handled at a time. For years. Let me tell you why this happens. Because it doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen because you're broken. It happens because of a story that you absorbed about what strength looked like. Most of us, men especially, men of our generation, men who grew up watching their fathers, uncles, coaches, and cultural messages that all said the same thing. We absorbed a definition of strength that looked like this. Strength means handle it. Strength means not needing anyone. Strength means being the one who gives and never the one who receives. Strength means when life gets hard, you go quiet and you push through. And you don't burden anyone with what you're carrying. That story felt true. It might have served you at some point when you were young and you needed to prove something. when you were building something, when people were counting on you, and you had to show up no matter what. That story got you through. But here's what that story never told you. Carrying everything alone is not strength. It's endurance. And endurance has a limit. You can white knuckle something for a year, 5 years, 20 years, but the tank doesn't refill itself just because you're tough. When the tank finally hits empty, it doesn't look like a graceful surrender. It looks like snapping at your wife for nothing. It looks like losing it with your kids over something small. It looks like sitting in your car in the dark, unable to explain to anyone why you feel like you're drowning, when from the outside, everything looks fine. That's not strength running out. That's the cost, a story that was never completely true. Here's what nobody tells about the strong man. The man who carries everything alone doesn't suffer quietly. He leaks. All that pressure, all that unspoken weight, all that stuff he's been swallowing and pushing down, it comes out. It always comes out. Just not in a way that he chooses, and not towards the people who deserve it. It comes out as anger towards his kids over something stupid. It comes out as distance towards his wife because he doesn't have the emotional bandwidth to be present. It comes out as irritability, as impatience, as a short fuse that everyone around him has to manage. It comes out as a version of himself that he doesn't recognize and doesn't like. The irony of trying to be strong alone is that it makes you weaker in places that matter most. You're bulletproof at work and a live wire at home. You're calm at a crisis with strangers and volatile with your own children. You hold it together everywhere except where it counts. And your family, the people you're doing all of this for, they don't experience the strength. They experience your overflow. They experience what's left after you've given everything to everyone else and come home with nothing in the tank. There's another cost that doesn't get talked about enough, and it's the cost to your kids specifically. Your kids are watching you carry everything alone. They're learning right now, not from what you tell them, but from what you show them, that this is what men do, that this is what strength looks like, that you handle it alone, and you don't ask for help, and you don't let people see you when you're struggling. And one day, they're going to be 38 years old and sitting in a car in the dark, not knowing who to call. And it's going to be because you taught them that. That's just how it's done. That's the part that got me. Not just what it was doing to me, what I was passing on. So what do you actually do with this? Because I'm not going to sit here and tell you to open up and share your feelings and everything is going to be fine. That's not how this works for men like us, and you know it. This is a gradual thing, a practice. And it starts smaller than you think. Here's where I want you to begin. The first thing, I just want you to start noticing it. Most men who carry everything alone and have been doing it for so long, they stop even recognizing how heavy it is. It's just normal. It's just how life feels. So the first practice is to simply start checking in with yourself honestly. At the end of the day, before you walk in the door, what am I actually carrying right now? Not what's on my to-do list, what's in my chest, what's been sitting on me today that I haven't said out loud to anyone. Just notice it. You don't have to do anything with it. Just stop pretending that it isn't there. The second thing is to find one person, just one. And I'm not talking about your therapist or a men's group or anything that feels like a commitment right now. I mean one person, a friend, a brother, someone where you can be a little more honest. Not all the way honest, not overnight. Just 1% more honest than you've been. Instead of fine, try, honestly, I've had a tough week. See what happens. See if the world ends. It won't. But you might be surprised what comes back when you give somebody an opening. The third thing, and this is the one that changed things for me, is start letting your wife in. Not with everything, not all at once, but with something real, something true. Something that just isn't an update on logistics or a problem you can solve. Because here's what I've learned. Your wife doesn't need you to have it all together. She needs to know you're real. She needs to feel like she's actually married to you and not just living alongside a man who handles everything and feels nothing. The intimacy she's probably asking for, maybe not in those words, but asking for isn't physical first. It's this. It's knowing what's actually going on inside of you. And the last thing that I want to say is this. Asking for help is not weakness. I know you've heard that before. I know it probably doesn't land. But let me reframe it. Carrying everything alone isn't protecting your family. It's depriving them. It's depriving your wife of a real partner. It's depriving your kids of a father who is fully present instead of quietly depleted. It's depriving yourself of the type of connection that makes all the carrying worth it. You are not built to do this alone. Nobody was. The sooner you stop treating isolation as a virtue, the sooner the weight starts feeling manageable. If this one hit you somewhere real today, I want to point you to my free audio lesson in the description. It's called The Unspoken Rules You Absorbed. It goes deep on where exactly these came from. The silent system you grew up inside that told you what strength looked like and what you weren't allowed to need. Understanding where it started is the first step towards deciding whether you want to keep living by those rules. It's free. It's audio. Link is in the description. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Tell me, when was the last time someone genuinely checked on you? And more honestly, have you ever let someone? Drop it below. I read every comment and I respond because the men who find this channel are exactly the men that I built this for. I'll see you in the next one.